lot of black sands and real fine. I've seen beach sands and real fine gold. The one thing, the more everything is the same size. I gave you the example of a 3-foot boulder versus well, I didn't say a 1 ounce nugget, but what do you think is going to move first? A 1 ounce nugget is probably going to move first before a 3-foot boulder. You know, so when everything's just, that's where your accuracy is, when things are the same size. But again, a lot of ways. But I'm just sold on these. Now it's already classified. So we don't need this. You know, it already went through the screen there. Now a question I ask is where do you suppose the best gold is? The top, the bottom, or the middle?
Probably going to be in the bottom because gold always floats down.
Okay.
It's
Floats
the
or
heaviest.
sinks down?
Sinks.
Okay.
But no, it's going to be on top because of the way the sluice was set up.
Okay, I got two answers. Anybody for the middle or top or bottom?
Why would it be the middle? It doesn't make sense to me.
I would think it'd be the top because you just went and poured it out of
And the gold should have been in
and
the
the
top
gold
of the
should have
rock
been in
above.
those top
Oh, I see.
riffles. Am I right or wrong?
You two are right. I don't get that answer. For novices, I never get it. The reason, you're experienced enough, you're right. The gold is generally in the top of those riffles. That's coming out last. Okay.
Okay.
From total novice, they're always thinking, okay, I show the example, the gold and the aluminum, it's heavy, gold sinks to the bottom. I'm talking about bedrock. This is kind of a trick question. And I get maybe 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10 that, they kind of figure it out. It's rare that someone gets it right. But that's showing me enough experience here. You two, here.
I like when we're processing and using that, like the high banker and stuff. Most of, even with the self feeder on our sluice, he's got it dialed in enough with mats. Most of our bigger gold is right there.
Yeah, it's all
Right
Really?
on top.
Right on top, right in the first one.
I've got it down now to where I only clean out when I'm
The
doing
top
clean
part?
outs. When I do my clean out, I'll take the lower stuff and just dump it in a bucket, and then I'll check the upper mat and pan that out just to see what I'm getting.
Okay.
You know, I don't even worry about the lower stuff until
The lower
I get
stuff
home.
goes home and he uses it for his videos.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
But that's no. I was pleased.
Now, do you
I'm
got
not
a gold hole?
surprised. You know, but again, most people, it is kind of
We
a
have
trick
a-
question.
It
You
is.
got to think
You
a little
think
bit
on the
about.
bottom of the
Sure.
bucket.
Now, granted,
If you
I
sit
was,
there and shake it,
yeah, then that changes things. But I walked over here fairly steady, and but it is some of a trick question, and like very few people get it. Like 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10. So it doesn't happen.
Well,
the
after you
reason I was
drive your
saying
dirt to
on
town,
the
it'll
bottom
probably be on the
is
bottom.
because you
That's
start
right.
from the
Yeah, it
top,
depends
and that
upon
there
where
top stuff
it
was
lands up
working
from
down before
sluicing
the
to
middle
here.
stuff
Yeah.
was. Well, what I could see of it, I wasn't watching that close.
I see how you're thinking. Okay, and that's almost a valid explanation there
Sure
too.
is.
But again, it's still the top stuff is going to still, I think, come off the last. You know, when that water cascading down, the bottom stuff's not going to sit there waiting for the top stuff to get there. But you were thinking along the right lines. But it's kind of an interesting little question. Okay, who remembers the specific gravity of gold?
19.3?
Pure gold.
Pure gold.
Okay, now this is interesting. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. A wet system versus a dry washer. Okay, now your average rocks are a specific gravity about 2.5. And we'll say placer gold is 18.5. Okay, so the ratio in air, let's call it 7. We'll give it even a more benefit of doubt. We'll make the math real simple. 17.5, real lousy placer gold. I've seen some at Alaska 677, fine. You know, 33% silver in it. Okay, so say it's 17.5 specific gravity. Average rock is 2.5. Okay. In a dry washer, your gold is for 7 times 2.5 is 17.5. Is 7 times heavier. Everyone with me?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, now In a wet system, your everything's buoyed up by 1. Your rocks have essentially a specific gravity of 1.5. Now your gold is a specific gravity of 16.5. Now you divide 1.5 into 16 and look at your ratio here. The 10 is 15, about 12. Okay, 12 to 1 ratio. Gold is that much heavier underwater.
Oh,
This is, yes. It's simple math, but that's why. If you can process something by water, you'll enjoy that video, the guy down in Arizona using the wet system, YouTube video. Alan's, I think it's
Alan's Gold Trommel.
yeah, you've seen him.
I've seen
Okay,
it.
okay, yeah, okay. He's recirculating. He's using water, but a lot of people aren't aware of that. But it's simple math. Look at 12 to 1 ratio versus 7 to 1.
And he's rerunning dry washer piles. Is what he's doing.
Exactly. And you know, I gave him a compliment. Okay, in the old times, okay, what it was is you had the caliche and everything. You know, the guys in the 30s were mining it. Okay, the caliche was all, you know, it went off as oversize, see, and it didn't go through their dry washer. So you go into the oversized pile after 70 years. That's weathered. Right. And now you go in the oversized pile that was once is oversized off of someone else working. There's where the gold is. I don't take credit for that. I was out in Arizona. That was some of my first this top notch. When I was with the Bureau of Land Management, we had training by a real expert, and we had a field trip, and that was fascinating. But I still remember that. That was. But again, but it's interesting. That's why I don't like dry washers, you know, because of the dust. Sometimes you're almost stuck with them. But that simple math, that's why your recovery is so much better with water. And it's simple. It makes sense. Look at your ratio. It's 12 times heavier than your average rock. You know, it's going to be easier to save. Okay.